Hey X, I'm frozen in my seat, fell asleep on my couch around 1 a.m. and woke up at 3 a.m. suddenly, sweating like crazy, jolted awake for no real reason, and my hallway is, like, the freaky red glow, too afraid to investigate. I swear now there is a whistle over the buzz, lasting about 1 second and then again after maybe another 2 seconds, kinda like a kid playing one high note on a recorder. It's getting dimmer. There's no smell, and it's not reminiscent of a fire. What if it's just eyes checking out the decor? I honestly think I can make out shadows of figures, like something moving around. The buzzing is non-stop but the whistle comes and goes. Is there a way I can post a video here? Window has curtains, man, ugh, I'm gonna die. I don't hear any buzzing or whistles anymore. Nothing, no buzzing or whistles, room's just red and shadows are everywhere, there is nothing in here to make this red light. Calling 911, I don't know what else to do. The buzzing is so loud and the whistle is just one long whistle with it at the same time. I can't even hear the dispatcher, I can't even think. Fuck, it's so loud. I'm going to leave. I'm outside in my car and I can still hear this shit. 23rd WTF WTF WTF. The dispatcher is sending someone and an ambulance. My boss just called me right after I hung up with police and now he's on his way. I can barely hear anything. I don't fucking know what is happening. Just outside my work there's a cigar-shaped cloud hovering lower than normal clouds, and not moving at all despite it being a windy night. I've been seeing strange clouds a lot recently, and I believe they're UFOs. More pictures if requested. I'll be walking home tonight. For perspective on how close it is, this is only 50 meters from original picture, and the object still in the same place. I'm literally walking around the object. It's that low. It's also zoomed in, hence it looks bigger.
UFOs do mask themselves as cloud ships, so it could very well be a cloud ship.
That's what I'm thinking. Hold on, it's rotating. I'm gonna get a new photo in a second. I'm actually spooked, because I'm walking home alone on a not very busy street. The more it rotates the darker it gets. It's almost not showing up on camera at all. It wasn't moving at all until I started taking pictures, and prior to this I was looking at it for a while with a coworker. My 3G just went to 2G. Not sure why, I pay for 4G if it's gonna crap out on me like this. Upload more when I get home. Wi-Fi will be faster.
This might sound weird, but try to send a feeling of love/friendliness toward it.
I'm walking home. It's really hard to see now, but I have interesting pictures when I get home. A red dot came out of it, and it was blinking. I got a few good images of that. Again, my data isn't letting me post them. I'm about 20 minutes out from my house. Will update as soon as I walk in the door. The red light just blinked out from my house. Will update as soon as I walk in the door. Should I be sending words or feelings? I've been sending feelings so far.
Did it make any noise?
Not at all. Also, general update, I'm walking in the opposite direction from it because that's the way to my house. I can't shake the feeling someone's behind me. It's really unnerving, even though I know nobody's there. I'm not just saying that to sound extra spooky, I'm just getting a weird feeling in my chest/stomach. It's back. I'm stopping to take me pictures. Closer. It's longer this time. Gonna keep trying to post this until it goes through. Is very large. Battery jumped to 33%. My phone dies at 25-ish%. Gonna just hurry home.
Good call. You sure it's not contrails coming from a plane? Like the blinking red dot you mentioned wasn't a plane, right?
My camera keeps getting these lines all over the image when taking pictures of it. But nowhere else. Not even when looking at other sources of light. I don't feel good about this thing. At all. Definitely not. It wasn't blinking, more like pulsing. And it wasn't moving either. And no noise. Walking home still. About 5 to 7 minutes out. Sorry for the delay, I stopped for a good few minutes to take pictures. Getting streaks in my vision when looking around. Trails on moving objects. Am now in a light jog to get home. I'm really scared. I know if I can get home I'll be good. Up here, I just got home. I feel high, or buzzed. My nose was bleeding. Wi-Fi is still shoddy. My PC was Ethernet. Gonna post from there. Nose is smeared bloody. More pics to come. On my PC now. Got some water. This one has the red light. General update, I'm feeling better now. I little woozy in my stomach, but all in all much better. Safer. I don't feel comfortable nor want to go outside or near my windows. How can I post a video of the thing? It was when I first saw it while I was leaving work. The video is 35 MB, and X limits me to 4. My camera keeps getting these lines all over the image when taking pictures of it. But nowhere else. Not even when looking at other sources of light. I don't feel good about this thing. At all. Definitely not. It wasn't blinking, more like pulsing. And it wasn't moving either. And no noise. Walking home still. About 5 to 7 minutes out. Sorry for the delay, I stopped for a good few minutes to take pictures. Getting streaks in my vision when looking around. Trails on moving objects. Am now in a light jog to get home. I'm really scared. I know if I can get home I'll be good. OP here, I just got home. I feel high, or buzzed. My nose was bleeding. Wi-Fi is still shoddy. My PC has Ethernet. Gonna post from there. Nose is smeared bloody. More pics to come. On my PC now. Got some water. This one has the red light. General update, I'm feeling better now. A little woozy in my stomach, but all in all much better. Safer. I don't feel comfortable nor want to go outside or near my windows. How can I post a video of the thing? It was when I first saw it while I was leaving work. The video is 35 MB, and X limits me to 4. My dogs are going absolutely crazy. I'm starting to feel fear again, and I do not know why. I'm never a panicked person, I always keep my cool. I never feel like this, ever. Encoding a WEBM right now. My dogs were still going crazy, so I brought them in. The object is gone, but I still feel crazy anxious. Headache is coming on. Thank you, I'm playing it right now. I know what you mean. I won't blame you if you call me out for this being a LARP. Just to state my side, I frequently lurk X, but I rarely post. When I do, it's usually just asking questions about stuff, but this time I wanted to engage in some kind of dialogue. I didn't think all this was gonna happen. WEBM almost done encoding. This was the video I took just before I posted this thread. Had to lower the bitrate because it wouldn't get the file size small enough. OP here, I'll be back in a few minutes. Gonna jump in the shower to try to wind down. Another pic to hold you over. This was after it was rotating and was getting harder and harder to see, it's top left. There is something in my house. I got out of the shower and heard my dog crying in the other room. I got out and there is a red light coming from my living room. I called 911, and I'm locked in my room. It's making noise. I can hear it from down my hall. My dog isn't making any noise anymore. I have a gun. I live in Corona, California. Area code 92882. I'm going back out there with my gun. It's a scratching noise. Like a hairbrush against the floor. I'm going to put my camera just around the corner to try to see what it is. I want to know my dog is okay. I see its shadow. It's moving. It doesn't know I'm here. No police sirens yet. How is this the first time I'm hearing about these? I have a friend I met online from New Zealand who sent me a bunch of creepy texts about shit like this before he disappeared. I didn't know how else to contact him. I still have our last few text conversations and the image he sent me. He said he thought he was being followed. The few weeks leading up to his disappearance he was telling me that he was getting super paranoid that he's in danger. He was getting depressed, and started having night terrors that would put him into sleep paralysis where he'd see a red light melting into his room, as he described it. At first I believed him, but after he vanished, I dismissed it as him not wanting to be my friend, so he made up a disappearance story to make it seem like it wasn't my fault that he didn't want to talk anymore. I always had that thought in the back of my head. Here's the image.
Damn. If there's anything particularly spooky in the chat logs, care to post screen caps? Blur out contact information if you'd like. These red light incidents seem to prey on ex-posters exclusively.
Nothing in particular that I'd want to post here, no. Honestly, nothing we spoke about would be much help here. It's all just deep personal stuff about how I thought he should get therapy, and how I was sure he'd be fine. And then at some point he stops responding to all my texts. His Discord, Skype, Snapchat, and Instagram accounts are all inactive too. I haven't heard from him since June. His last text was on June 19th. The thing that freaks me the fuck out is that if this is real, and this really happened to not my friend, but two others. Fuck dude, that's some scary shit. I don't even know what to think. The feeling of knowing this isn't an isolated thing is scary in its own right. Alright, X, I've got a weird story to tell you guys. I don't come to this board often at all, but this seems like the right place. Be me. Serving in prison for street racing, yet I know it's fucking stupid. I did it once after getting pressured by my friend. Got caught immediately. 2 months in, get a new cellmate. Nice enough guy but scared of everything, mumbled to himself. Get to know him, turns out he's a paranoid schizophrenic. Wakes up screaming some nights. Tells me about his delusions, he knows he's fucked up. Accept them, man, I know they're not delusions. I'm not fucking crazy. I see those eyes every time I close my eyes. I'm never gonna unsee that red light. Starts rambling about how they come for him at night, and he got himself in prison to stay safe. Won't tell me what he did to get locked up, dodges the question every time. FF a month, we become friends and he opens up a little. Tells me how he used to never sleep because that's when shit would go down. When he would start to doze off, his body would start to feel really heavy, and he'd get a vibrating sensation in his limbs, like a heavier, slower version of the way you feel when your leg falls asleep. A humming noise will start out quiet, and get louder and louder, and a bright white light fills the room, and then it slowly turns blood red as the hum reaches its peak pitch, like a skull-splitting tinnitus. Says he usually blacks out after that, but not always. Sometimes I see them. They don't want me to remember. Ask him what he means. Starts describing fucking greys, in great detail. I didn't believe in aliens at the time, so I thought he was totally nuts. Short, with limbs longer in proportion to their bodies than humans, about 4.5 to 5.3 feet tall. Gray, almost see-through skin. He said it looked more like a membrane than it did human skin. Massive black eyes, that reflected everything like a mirror. They smelled almost like a burning phone charger. I asked him about the smell, but he just shrugged and said it was hard to describe, that it didn't really smell like burning plastic and wire, but it was the only way he could word it since he'd never smelled anything quite like it before. Says he's getting uncomfortable, that talking about them for too long makes him anxious, so he goes to sleep. Next day we had art therapy, fucking stupid right, and he gets all twitchy and starts drawing creepy shit. Gonna continue in next post. We start art therapy. Basically we do it to let out our feelings because it's supposed to help people be less violent or something, I don't really know. I just start doodling. I'm usually a pretty chill guy and I didn't really have anything on my mind. Danny, my cellmate, seems to enjoy these sessions for the most part, even though he's not very good. This time it's different. Super anxious, says he was up nearly all night, even though I was up late and didn't hear him make a sound. Keeps scratching his neck obsessively, constantly chewing on his forefinger, looks on the verge of some sort of panic attack. Therapist tells him to try and draw what's upsetting him. Stares at the paper and charcoal for like half the fucking session, and then starts feverishly drawing. Fills the entire page with shades of red, can barely make anything else out. Looks vaguely like a bedroom, can see a blurry doorway, what looks like a bed, maybe a dresser. It's all messy. You can see 3 figures near the bed, blurry except for the eyes. Huge, pitch black almond-shaped eyes. They're surrounding the bed, with a staticky stick figure, Danny, in it, screaming. Therapist asks him to tell him what it is, and he just mumbles about a nightmare. 215803338. I'm typing this in between answering phone calls from customers, but it's a slow day so I'm doing my best to post fast. Ask Danny about the art later, tells me it's usually what happens when he sees the grays, but his therapist tells him it's a nightmare or sleep paralysis. Nightmares don't leave marks. He turns around and shows me the base of his neck. There's a faded scar, small, perfect circle with a triangle of 3 dots in the middle. What the fuck? He says he's woken up after nightmares with bruises in strange places on his body, other triangles made from dots. Therapist claimed it was just him self-harming in his sleep, or sleepwalking. Bullshit.jpg. It's time for lockup, don't feel like sleeping so I get in bed to read. On the first page of a new book when suddenly Danny sits up freaking the fuck out and yelling. Dude, what? I ask him what the fuck happened. He said they came for him and took him away. Now I know he's fucking nuts. Tells me to look at the time. There's a clock you can see from outside our cell. It's fucking 4 hours since lockup time. I was reading the same page that I started on 4 hours ago, there was no way I fell asleep or anything. That was one of the creepiest thing that ever happened to me. Danny said losing time is common, but that he didn't see me on board. Why the fuck would I lose time too? I've got more, don't worry, this isn't the end.
Keep posting OP. You've baited us in. You ever hear of the red light phenomena? This isn't the first red light posting I've seen on here. Is this related to the red light incident an Anon had? Where do you live that your first street race offense is prison time? Here they just fine you so much you have to sell the car. There's a faded scar, small, perfect circle with a triangle of 3 dots in the middle. Fucking predator man, nice B8M8.
Get really freaked out, don't want to believe him. Get checked out by the prison doc and PYSCH just in case I'm losing my shit, but they say I'm fine. Get cleared, so I just pass it off as dozing off while reading and not realizing it. Couple weeks go by as normal. Going the yard, art therapy once week, go to the library etc. Prison starts letting inmates have chalk in their cells so they can draw or write or whatever and it can't be used as a weapon. Danny starts drawing the faces of the greys again, and drawing odd line symbols that are like dots with lines, kinda like constellations. What's the red light incident? I never really come to this board so I've never heard of it. I usually just stick to a VA got charged for multiple things, reckless endangerment since it was drag racing and a few other things, so it added up to 8 months. I think the judge had a grudge against street racers or something. That was my first thought too. It was similar to it, but didn't look exactly like it, the triangle was rotated. Holy shit, that's terrifying. It's actually really similar, but the buzz was more of a hum when it happened to us. It did get multi-tone though. I'll get to that soon. I'm about to get off work and I'll have time to type that all out. I can draw some of the symbols Danny drew if anyone is interested. I think I still remember some of them. They won't be 100% accurate but close enough. Here's the symbols as best as I can remember. They were in art he sent, so they should be fairly similar. I'll see if I can find some of his art if you guys are interested. The symbols in the lower right are the UFOs he saw. He said they were long on oval, and sometimes looked foggy.
I recognize some of the shapes from the NASA Golden Record.
This isn't me. Ignore him. This is near the end of my stay, think it was within the last month or two. Been waking up with headaches, nosebleeds some days. Not exactly strange, they can be side effects of the allergy meds I take. Looking forward to getting out. Danny still has a while to go, still don't know what it was for or how long. We stay up late one night drinking shitty prison wine. The idiot who gave it to us fucked it up and it tasted like vinegar and piss, but it got us fucked up. Drink till we're on the verge of passing out when suddenly Danny freaks out. Shit, fuck, do you hear that? Anon, please tell me you don't hear that. It's the humming noise he mentioned. Oh fuck. The noise gets louder and louder and a higher whine can be heard over it, and Danny is pounding on the jail cell door screaming for help. No one comes, no prisoner tells us to shut the fuck up, no guard comes to slam their baton into the bars. What the fuck is happening? A bright, pulsating white light is filling the prison, searing my eyes. Suddenly turns blood red and everything goes dead quiet. So quiet you can hear the blood rushing in your ears. I try to hide under my bed. Can't move, it's like I'm made of lead, my body is buzzing like it's made of fucking bees. Start to panic, want to scream for help, ask Danny if he's okay, but I can't even open my mouth. Get the sudden feeling of being watched. In the glow of the red light, I can see shadows on the wall. Shadows start moving around, suddenly I feel a sharp pain in my head, and get a mental image of myself frozen in the cell, with Danny a few feet behind me. It was like someone put a camera in the cell and I was watching. Image was gone, but I could sense something was next to me. Everything goes cold, and the vibrating gets worse and more violent, almost if the cells in my body were being thrown around. I can feel myself being lifted off the ground. Close my eyes and even though I'm not religious, I start to pray, what else am I going to do, to anything that'll listen. The red light is seared into my retinas, I'm screaming inside but nothing comes out. Suddenly I'm in a room. It's steel-colored with no light source, but evenly lit to the point of no shadow. The next thing I see is the eyes Danny mentioned. They were fucking horrible. Massive eyes, that took up like a quarter of the face. Almond-shaped and slanted like 45 degrees, it was pitch black. I could see my own terrified reflection in them. Those massive, wet, black voids reflected every inch of terror in my face. Those things didn't look remotely human. No drawing or Photoshop or mask has come close to how awful those things were. The waxy, membrane-like skin almost pulsated. Images flashed through my head. Me and Danny, the aliens, the prison, pictures of planets, organs, stars. It gave me a massive headache, I don't know what it was trying to do. Suddenly I'm in the prison hospital. They found me on the floor of the prison cell, with a blinding headache, lying in a pool of my own vomit and blood pouring from my nose. They found Danny huddled in the corner sobbing, shit in his pants, covered in scratches and bruises. Doctors and guards questioned me. They thought we were fighting, even though no one saw or heard anything. Anything at all. No one heard our screaming, the lights, the humming sound. How the fuck? Told them that we got drunk but didn't fight or anything. I had no idea what happened to Danny. They release me in time for dinner. Head still pounding and my whole body aches, especially my neck. 4 helped, but I wanted to get actual food in my body. Danny wasn't in the cafeteria. Didn't see him for another 3 days. Danny tells me they questioned him asking why I attacked him. He says the wounds were self-inflicted, that he had a nightmare and he clawed and hit himself in his sleep. They kept him under observation to make sure he didn't try and hang himself or something. Neither of us want to talk about what happened that night. All he asked was, "You saw them too, didn't you?" I nodded. "You know that they're not going to let you go now, right? Once they set their eyes on you, you're in their sight for life. Been drinking so typing is going slower so I make sure I don't fuck up so badly. I think I might look for the pictures he sent me. I know I have them around here somewhere, and I think I have some letters from him too." Obviously creeped the fuck out. Neither of us sleep well for the next weeks. Nothing major happens until a few nights before I'm out. Mostly headaches and nosebleeds. Go to sleep, wake up in the middle of the night to the humming noise and bright red light. Please God no, not again, I can't take this again. The humming died down and the light fades away. I breathe a sigh of relief. I realized it was probably just sleep paralysis, used to happen to me as a kid, but I'd just see the old hag. Fall back asleep. Wake up to the sound of guards yelling at me and slamming open the door. They tell me to get up and spread up against the wall, hands up. What the fuck is going on? Start barraging me with questions. Where did Danny go? How did he get out? Did you help him? What.jpg? Keep telling them I didn't do anything and know nothing. They bring me to a room to interrogate me more. After a few hours of the same shit, they let me go. Talk to some other inmates who are in my cell block, they didn't see anything either. A guard who was friendly told me the cameras caught nothing either. Danny was gone for 3 days. Cops put out a APB for him, thinking he escaped. On the last day, some convicts found him in the rec yard, his foot somehow pinched in between weights that were already on a bar. He had to go to the prison hospital for dehydration and some broken ribs, as I found out later. They never found him on footage on any camera, so there was an investigation to see if there was a cop trying to get inmates out. To know if anything ever came of that, but I know for a fact this wasn't the cops. There's no way he would vanish without a trace and then reappear clipped through fucking metal. I never got to see Danny again. I left the day after he came back. He wrote me a few weeks after I left, telling me the night he vanished he saw the red lights again, and he hoped it would be the last either of us did. But we both kept seeing them. I don't have it happened often, but Danny probably does. Looking for his letters now. He had a few stories.
Have you seen images that look like the beings you saw? Like, exactly what you saw that night? Have you got any marks on your body now? Are you still in touch with Danny? Has it happened again since? Post the pictures and letters, Michael.
Sorta. A lot of drawings and pop culture shit capture the general gist of them, eyes, stature, head shape, etc., but seeing one in real life is more horrifying than you can imagine. Something about their presence is just wrong. Like they don't belong, like they shouldn't exist. Kinda like in a Lovecraft way, minus the going mad when you see them. Even if you don't see one, if one is around you, you will know. You won't just have a feeling of being watched, it's like your body reacts to being just near this thing that shouldn't exist. I don't have any bruises or injection sites like Danny does. I have had bruises in the past, but nothing recently. I still talk to Danny on occasion, I'll get to that, and yes, I have had experiences since getting out. I'll look for the letters and art for you.
So their eyes look something like this?
Not really. That face is too ape-like, eyes too round. They had hairless faces, eyes a little bigger than that, but like 45 degrees angled almonds. Skin was lighter too.
More like this one? This one always striked me as slightly realistic, in the way it moved in the interview. Is OP looking for the letters?
It's a bit closer. That forehead is too big, but the eyes are dead on. It makes me super uncomfortable. Found one, looking for the painting. Had to scan it because Danny has awful handwriting. But when I find the art, I'll snap a photo of it with the letter and a timestamp. Hey, hope you are doing well. I'm sure not. They talking about sending me to the psych ward now. They think I'm crazy. If I were them I'd think so too. But you've seen what I've seen. You know how real this shit is. You're just as scared as I am. Remember that night we saw the red light? It happened again. I started praying to God a few weeks ago. Asked him to protect me from this evil. But instead of angels coming to deliver me, they did. I remember every single thing they did to me. They hurt me. They put me on a table, they cut me open and stuck me full of glass and copper and glowing tubes scanning and probing my organs. I saw it all, every little bit. I thought I was going to die, but they made sure I did not. I passed out. I woke up with no scars or wounds. Ached all over. I don't know how much more I can take. I want to die. At least in a psych ward it'll be hard to kill myself. As afraid of them as I am, I'm scared there is something worse on the other side. Take care. Danny. P.S. Here is one of my drawings from that day. Keeping them scares me, but feels wrong to throw them away. OP delivers. We'll post close-ups of the drawings. He's not an artist, obviously. But they creep me the fuck out. The crying stick figure is supposed to be Danny, I believe. He almost always drew them smeared out like the two of them are. But never the eyes. They were always pitch black and clear.
So shit, this picture is accurate then? Yeah, grays. They're what fairies used to be but got an upgrade in the nuclear age. They're nasty bastards. In the old days they hated iron. I don't know if that's the case still.
Eyes are too small, but otherwise it's right. Shouldn't we have been safe in jail then? Unless the bars were steel and not iron, I'm honestly not sure what they were made from. Danny will probably send another letter soon, he usually does once a month and hasn't yet. I'll make a new thread once he does if this dies. Until then, I'll try and track down some of his other letters. Anyone have any questions?
OP, are there any signs of them coming to you? Only the buzzing, the whispers, the hissing and the red light? What have they done to you? Strapped you to a bed? Can you move? Fight? I'm curious as if one of those fuckers came to get me, if I could at least punch one of them in the face. I want to believe. There is no crease/fold in that letter. The letter looked crumpled like it was stored on some random stack of papers. This would soften this kind of paper and get rid of existing creases, replacing them with crumples. Seems legit. Any more detail on the visions that were communicated to you?
The only signs are the buzzing, lights and paralysis. Sometimes I hear almost a musical sound in my head. It's not really a tune, or singing or someone humming. It's almost like it's the idea of music. It's strange. Not sure if it's in my head or something I actually hear. I honestly don't know what they've done to me. I don't have clear memories of what happens after the lights. I don't think they strapped me to a bed, they seem to paralyze me. I can't move anything besides my eyes. It's horrifying. I don't know if it's out of fear or something they do to you. I doubt you could even move a finger against one. Despite the frailness of them, they radiate a kind of power that I've never felt before. I'm still unsuccessful in finding more papers. I just moved, so everything is kind of a mess. It was thrown in a box when I moved and I used my scanner to upload it, so it doesn't have folds, just crumples now. It was one of the first he sent. Not really. It was blurry when it happened, and the memory only got blurrier. I did see some stars and line, and some Anon mentioned the drawings may have been a star map. Maybe a location? I can ask Danny if he saw anything like that and if he can draw one. If it's a map or constellation, some Anon with more astronomy knowledge can identify it.